All right, guys, Eric Rivera here. I got a special guest with me, Kari Pearce. Kari, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm good, doing well. Kari just moved to Vegas, so for those of you who do not know, we were friends, training partners at Spot in New York City. Um, but now Kari has left me and has gone to Vegas. But enjoying beautiful weather, yes.
Yes, it's sunny every day. It's beautiful. Better than New York weather.
I'm
Sorry.
I'm jealous.
You're welcome anytime, though.
So let's get straight to it. First and foremost, congratulations on reaching stage two of the CrossFit Games. For those of you not familiar, Carrie just competed. Carrie and a bunch of other games athletes just competed in stage one of the CrossFit Games, which was done virtually about a month ago. And how many workouts were there?
7 different workouts.
Seven different workouts. And you came in the top five, and the top five is when we're taken to the next stage, stage two, which will be in Aromas, California. When?
Next weekend.
Next weekend, right?
Mm.
So, Carrie competing for the title, Fittest Woman on Earth, CrossFit Games champion, has potential to podium. So, before we get started, first and foremost, let the people know everyone knows who Kari Pearce is, but talk about your background a little bit. How long you've been doing CrossFit? Have you won any awards? Fittest American Woman, and just talk about that a little bit.
Well, sounds like you're bragging for me, so I don't need to. But yeah, I'm Kari Pearce. I did 18 years of gymnastics. So that was my background leading up to CrossFit. I finished my gymnastics career at the University of Michigan. Division One gymnastics was where I finished, and we had 4 Big 10 championships. But after gymnastics, my body was hurting a little bit and was done, ready to move on to something else. So, I got my degree in movement science. And after finishing gymnastics, I still wanted to work out, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I played with weightlifting a little bit and did a strength conditioning internship at the University of Michigan. Then I got into some physique competing after bulging a disc in my back and had to let that recover so I could train bodybuilding and did a physique competition. Then I moved to New York City and did a powerlifting competition there. However, during all of this time after I finished college, I had a teammate that was just like, Kari, you should do CrossFit. You should do CrossFit. But because I did the 18 years of gymnastics, I didn't want to do anything related to gymnastics. And she's like, it's not, it's pull-ups, push-ups, handstands, not like tumbling. So after I did the powerlifting meet in November 2014, I decided to give CrossFit a start. So that's when I went all in on CrossFit and haven't turned back yet.
And you've been the fittest American woman how many times?
So I've been the fittest American woman 3 out of the last 4 years. At the CrossFit Games, my first year I finished 21st in the world. And that was, a shock. I was surprised even to go to the games my first year. And then the next year I got 5th place in the world. And that was my first year being top American.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. The next year I was 10th in the world. I was 2nd place American. And then I finished 6th and then 5th in the world and top American in 2018 and 2019.
Nice. So it looks like you've been on that top five for the past couple years. That's consistent.
Thank you.
That's
And I feel like
awesome.
people don't give me the credit I deserve, but I just keep coming
Um,
coming back for more. So
I would say I agree with that. But listen, you're the fittest American woman multiple times, top five in the world, just about almost every single time.
thanks.
Very consistent. And all this CrossFitting, especially the gymnastics and body weight movements, have led to the creation of PowerAbs. Right? Let's talk about that a little bit. So I'm familiar with it. I've done more than a couple. I've done quite a few power ab workouts myself, but I'll let you take the floor and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, you're the star of a couple of the different programs, which is cool. Oh yeah, no big deal. So yeah, PowerAbs started back in December 2018. And the reason I started it is, a lot of people commented on my abs you have great abs. How do I get abs like you? And because of my 18 years of gymnastics, I mean, that's what I attribute it to. And one of the ladies that I work with, she was just like throwing it out there one day, just, my husband's obsessed with your abs. I'm obsessed with your abs. We need to come up with a program. Why haven't you already? And I was like, I mean, honestly, I didn't know where to start. I knew like I should come up with something for people to do as far as like ab work goes, because I was a personal trainer and I just would always see people doing the same boring things in the gym without getting results. So, I mean, you see people do abs in the gym. And so I decided I could come up with something that's minimal time. It's 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and it's a 30-day program. Like I said, no equipment needed. So there's really not any excuse not to do it. And I have various programs. PowerAbs is the very beginner, and then we have up to extreme, which is for hardcore people. And now we have tens of thousands of people all around the globe doing PowerAbs, which is just so cool. And it just,
yeah, that's wild. That's amazing.
Thank you. And it's cool too. Like, people say obviously like they have better abs because doing it, but also I think what's even better, it just increases their confidence in themselves. Like when they go to the beach, or, I mean, CrossFitters love to take out their shirts, and even calisthenics athletes. I see you with all your friends. You guys don't have on shirts. You work hard for your body, got to show it off. And so, yeah, so people just feel better being able to take off their shirts and show off their hard-earned power abs.
Yeah, let me tell you guys something about PowerAbs. It works. I've done a few of those workouts, and even some of the movements where you think your abs aren't engaged or are not being used, you will be very surprised how your body or how your abs are used in some of those movements. And they got me sore. A few of those, and obviously I'm a calisthenics athlete. I also lift and competed in a bunch of different things, but PowerAbs, it works, right? So if you haven't checked that out, you could go ahead and check that out. Obviously, Kari's Instagram. And where else can they find that at?
Yeah, so my Instagram, it's just the link in my bio. Or if they go to my website, they can learn a little bit more too. That's just karipearce.com. Everything they'll need to know is on there.
Yeah, and follow her on the gram at Kari Pearce CrossFit.
Yep.
Yeah, there you
go. Good. Thank you.
All right. So, top 5, stage 1 of the CrossFit Games. You competed, you qualified, you made top 5, just getting that 5th place. Talk about that a little bit. How did that feel? And essentially, yeah, how did it feel to get in that top 5 of stage 1?
Yeah, so the weekend was definitely a little bit of a roller coaster.
For sure.
The way they did it, there was like kind of 2 events in each block, and there was 4 different blocks, except the last block only had 1 event. So after the first block, I was in 15th place, which obviously isn't where I wanted to be, but I had a front squat max, which I knew wasn't going to be my best event for the weekend. And then after the second block, I was in 11th, so I'd moved up a little bit, but still had a lot of ground to make up. And there was a 1K row in there, and I know that wasn't going to be, my best event of the weekend either. Then the next day we had a handstand hold and just like a grit workout that tested endurance. So then I moved up to 7th after the 2 events in the morning. And my coach, he's like, we're 10 points out of 5th place right now. And I mean, going into the final day, I was like, I don't know, it's going to be hard to pull it off, like going from 11th to 5th. But I knew like I just had to go out and I had to do what I could. And wherever the chips fell is, where they fell. So going into that final event, like I said, I was in 7th place, 10 points out of 5th place. There was 2 girls that I had to beat out, and the girl in 8th place, I had to make sure I stayed ahead of her. And so like right before the final event, my coach looks at me and he goes, "This is just another workout." And like looking at him, and I'm like, "You're right, it's another workout, but there's a lot at stake right now," because like you said, this year, the top 5 end up going to compete in California for the chance to be crowned fittest on earth. And if you get in that 6th place spot, you're not going, you're staying at home. So I was like, there is a lot on the line here, but you could, like when I'm doing the workout, I can't think about that. I just have to go and do what I can do. And I mean, I basically had a perfect performance for me. I tripped on 1 double under, But other than that, like I couldn't have done any better. So after it finished, I had to wait an hour to see if I was in that top 5 or not. And it was probably the longest hour of my life, but ended up that I was in 5th place. However, my coach, while they were making all the announcements and everything, and they're like, the last event, here's the results. Cara Saunders was in 1st and I was in 8th. And so my coach thought she jumped me. And he's like, that's it. We're in 6th place. That's it. She's going. We're not. We're staying at home, like 100% convinced I wasn't going. And then they're like, here are the final standings. And I like didn't even pay attention because I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm in 6th. And then everyone at the gym just like started cheering. And then I looked and like registered. My name was like above the red line. And I like every time I get goosebumps on my arm when I tell this story. Yeah. So it was just like, it was definitely surreal, especially I thought I was going to end up in 6th place. That's really like after the final event, I was like, I'd probably beat one girl, but I thought Kristen Holta was actually going to finish in 5th, but then I beat her in the workout. So she jumped down to 6th, and then Cara, I think, ended up in 8th, and Amanda Barnhart, I also jumped her. So she ended up in 7th.
And you made it. That must have been a amazing feeling. Great feeling.
Yeah. It was an amazing feeling. It was a roller coaster of feelings like all throughout, because I was like waiting the hour and I'm like, okay, well, what if you don't make it? How are you going to feel? Yeah. What if you do make it? But what if you don't? And so you're just like this, like back and forth in your mind. And it was like either your season's done or you get another time to reprove yourself. So I was like, and I qualified in 5th place. Now it's just up from there.
And what was that last workout?
The last workout was Annie with GHDs and clean. So it was 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of double unders with a jump rope they gave us, which wasn't a heavy rope. It was like a light rope. So instead of being like aerodynamic, it was really slow. So you really had to like use your arms to do it. And then GHD sit-ups and then it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of cleans at 185.
So relatively heavy, actually. Up there.
Especially after doing GHDs, because you're just like back and forth, and then you get off and you're like really dizzy, and then going into that first power clean's like, whoa.
Well, congrats again, top 5. But now we're gonna hunt that podium, right? Mm-hmm. Now we going for that podium, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah. I was like, this is the closest the podium's ever been, just because it's like guaranteed like right there. 5th place. Yeah. Because like before, there's so many other girls in the mix. Whereas this year it's just like there's 5. And I think, for me and the 2 other Americans who haven't been on the podium yet, Tia and Katrin have both been on the podium multiple times, but neither me, Brooke, nor Haley has been on the podium yet. So it's going to be a good fight, especially because we're all Americans too.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. I'll tell you that. What do you think will be different from stage 2 compared to stage 1? So stage 1, again, for those of you not familiar, stage 1 was virtual. So because of COVID, it had to be done virtually. But stage 2 is going to be in California, Aromas, and everyone's going to get together. Well, the top 5 men, top 5 women, obviously Dave Castro and everyone. Get together and set that up. What do you expect? Like, what do you think you're gonna see in stage 2? What's gonna be different other than it obviously not being virtual? Any expectations? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be a lot different. Castro's always good about saying this is gonna be the hardest CrossFit Games yet, and
every year.
And he's like, I know I've said this before, but this is going to be the most challenging test yet. So we know it's going to be hard, as it always is. And as it should be, you're crowning the fittest on earth. It's not going to be easy. So yeah, I definitely know it's going to be hard. And they've come out with 2 workouts so far. So we know that there's going to be a hill. They call it a sprint, but there's an 8-minute cap. So I'm like, you can't sprint for 8 minutes, but a hill run with a sandbag or a corn bag. So I think the women is 30 pounds and the guys is 50, and it's 320 meters, but it looks like it's like a pretty steep incline. And then they also announced a CrossFit total. So 1 rep max back squat, 1 rep max strict press, and 1 rep max deadlift. Your total weights combined is
Yeah, did not know that they announced that.
Yeah, they just did earlier today.
All right. I will call out. You're going to have the best strict press.
Put them shoulders to use.
Yeah. One of the best deadlifts. And then we'll see about the back squat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know how Haley is, but I know like back in 2018, like Katrin beat me on the back squat, but then I strict pressed and deadlifted more than she did. So that's probably how it's going to go. And I feel like Haley, I don't know, I plan on out squatting, pressing and deadlifting her. So we'll see. She's a tough cookie though. So she always
Everyone there, if you're top five, like
yeah.
top five in the world, everyone is proven.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see a couple more workouts is going to be in your wheelhouse.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things we haven't seen. You don't have many holes. For those who aren't familiar with her game, she doesn't have many holes in her workout or in her fitness. Mm-hmm. I predict some rope climbs, maybe some thick rope climbs.
Yeah. We didn't see any muscle ups in stage 1, so we better get some muscle ups.
We haven't seen muscle ups. I like to see Murph in there.
There we go. Yeah.
Or
we didn't see handstand walking. We saw the hold, but I think there should be some handstand walking.
There's for sure going to be some handstand walking.
Yeah.
So I think you have a great opportunity to the podium.
Thank you.
But again, we shall see.
Yeah. Like you said, we know all those girls are super tough. They're all super fit, and that's why they qualified in the top 5. So it's gonna come down to who's mentally tough, and it always whoever can recover as well, especially through. I think there's gonna be it looks like 10 events through the 3 days. So got to make sure your recovery is on point so you can hit each workout hard, and being smart with strategy and everything too.
Yeah. How's training going? Is it any different? Let's talk about your training a little bit leading up to the game.
Yeah, training's been a little different after stage 1, just because we know in stage 2 it's going to be Metcon, and so we've taken out a lot of the just plain strength technique work, and we've thrown it after Metcons because we're it looked like a CrossFit Total is event 3, so we're going to already have done the hill sprint and one other event that day, so you're never going to lift fresh at the games. So we're okay, we don't need to focus on the technique. You're not going to get any stronger in these next 3 or 4 weeks. So it's just been very, very high intensity. It's been a lot of trail running or different running, a lot more strongman, yoke carries, sandbag things, more pegboards, handstand, obstacle course, just higher skilled strongman, just different things than just barbell and normal CrossFit things that we knew were going to be in stage 1.
All right. Have you changed anything in regards to training specifically because of the new format with stage 1, stage 2? Is there anything that changed with your training, or you just essentially kept the same, I guess, type of training routine, if you want to call it that, during this time?
I kept a very similar kind of training routine, but near the end, once we found out it was going to be that stage 1 was going to be online, we stopped trail because I was doing trail runs because we thought it was going to be at Aromas. We're we needed to make sure that we're doing trail runs, and we're doing a lot of swimming. And so we took out trail runs, and I'm swimming once a week, but usually I was swimming twice a week. So stage 1 isn't going to have swimming if it's online. And then it was just a lot more barbell stuff because there wasn't going to be dumbbells or kettlebells. So we focused more on and GHDs, we knew that there was going to be some movements. We're okay, we're going to practice these more since it's guaranteed they're going to be in the workouts. So yeah, definitely changed for stage 1. We still kept in assault bike and skier, some things like that we knew weren't going to be it, just to, stay fit and not do the same things over and over. But then stage 2 has felt a lot more actually training for the games and what I normally would do, train for the games, except usually I still keep more of my technique work, whereas like I said, I haven't completely maxed out any of these days. It's more just been Metcon focused.
Awesome. So it looks like you're fit and just ready to go and podium and take over.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Mm-hmm. I've taken a few lessons from you,
So we have those trophies in the back. Hey.
So many trophies.
All right, so rapid fire questions, right? Let's wrap this up a little bit. So I'm gonna give you a couple questions. Let me get essentially a quick answer to these, and then we'll wrap it up and call it a podcast, if you will.
Here we go.
All right, so pull-ups or push-ups?
Pull-ups.
Pull-ups, yeah. I like both, actually.
Yeah, you compete with both. You're great at both. That's probably why.
All right. What is your favorite movement in CrossFit?
Handstand walking.
Handstand walks.
What's yours? Pull-ups, push-ups.
Push-ups.
Dips.
What is your least favorite movement?
Front squats.
Front squats. Oh.
You?
Deadlifts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't like deadlifts. What is your favorite CrossFit event? I know you probably got to think about that a little bit. Oh, really? Diane?
I love Diane.
More than the ones you've like won? I know you won Murph, right?
Yeah.
In 2018?
16.
16. All right, 2016.
Yep.
And then you won a few.
I won the separator, which is a ring handstand push-ups, in 2016 as well.
Okay.
And then I won Mary last year. And I don't know. You're right. I really like Mary.
What was Mary? Handstand push-ups.
20-minute AMRAP, 5 handstand push-ups, 10 pistols, 15 pull-ups.
And you did all your handstand push-ups strict?
Almost all of them. I think I kept 2 reps, and the judge no-rep me on one of them, and I was like, screw this, back to strict.
Fair enough.
Got those boulder shoulders, got to use them.
There you go. Favorite sport? I think I know the answer to this.
Well, I mean, CrossFit to do. I don't really watch much of it, but I like hockey to watch.
Oh, that was surprising. I was expecting gymnastics.
Yeah. And I don't watch gymnastics much either. Like gymnastics, like rolls in my mind, but I don't watch it as much as
you
watch hockey or other sports.
Competed what, 18 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good one. My favorite sport?
Yeah. To watch.
Mixed martial arts.
Okay, it is, yeah.
I just love watching mixed martial arts, MMA, UFC.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to come out here for whenever there's spectators allowed and watch a UFC match.
Never been to Vegas. Gotta go.
Yeah. I got a guest room. Has your name on it.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
And this one's a good one. Favorite CrossFitter, not named Kari Pearce. We'll go male and female.
One male and female?
Yes.
Female is Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
Oh, I like Sarah.
Oh. And male. It's hard to say.
All right, other than Eric Rivera.
I mean, that was the first name that popped in my mind, of course. I like Noah Olson. We'll go with him.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the last question?
Ready as I'll be.
Have you worked on toaster rings?
I have, and guess what? I did 50 unbroken the other day.
Ooh, look at that.
Right? 50 unbroken in Metcon. Justin wrote, well, we had another workout before it. Oh, that was 21 bar muscle ups and then into 2 rounds of DT with an axle bar at 125. And then we had 5 minutes of rest and then into 50 toaster ring, into 50 burpees to a 6-inch target. And I was going and I was like, I'm going to have to break these. And I did 30. I was like, no, just keep going. 40. I was like, okay, now you can't stop. So yes, Justin has made me work on my toaster rings.
And you didn't fall off the rings?
I did not. And I was like, maybe I should put I joked with him before. I was like, maybe I should put a safety mat underneath just in case. But I didn't end up needing it. So
good.
Good question. Good question. No more falling allowed.
Yeah, you're right about that.
There went the podium. Well, the potential for the podium probably. So.
But now we are going to podium.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. So guys, follow Kari on Instagram, Kari Pearce CrossFit. I will have the links down below. If you are interested in PowerAbs, it will be on her Instagram as well. It's on her stories, her posts.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. It's all over. All right. 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Yes, 5 days. 5 days a week. 10 minutes a day. They work. I've done them before. You feel it in those abs. And as always, guys, follow me on the gram, Fitness Phenom 21. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and show Kari some love. Competing in less than a week?
A week from today, yeah. Next Friday is when it starts.
Today. CrossFit Games 2020, Stage 2, top 5 women, top 5 men, Aromas, California, to crown the fittest on earth.
Yay!
All right, I appreciate you doing this with me. And we'll see what happens in a week.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. It's always nice seeing you.
Always. Later.
Bye.
Take care.